and welcome to another edition of Positive Schools, Successful Students, the GIS series that takes you into the schools to meet some of the passionate teachers and talented and successful students who are striving for excellence. In this program, we'll visit 4 schools. You'll see transition to secondary school training or T2S training at 3 schools for first formers, and then we'll come here to the Alexandra School to hear Steve Barker, former student of this school. The Transition to Secondary School Program, or T2S, is an initiative of the National HIV/AIDS Commission in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, Science, Technology and Innovation and the Ministry of Labour, Social Security and Human Resource Development. Funded by the European Union, the program has been designed to equip first formers with the necessary skills and information to transition to secondary school life. Before running the program for the second time in public and private secondary schools, the National HIV/AIDS Commission piloted the T2S program with students in the target age range.
Anybody know what age stands for? Yeah.
Ryan Dalrymple is the community social worker and volunteer coordinator for T2S, now in its second year.
At present, we are into 21 secondary schools. Next year, God's Spirit of Life, we will be into more schools, bring other schools with disability onto it. So far, children have been asking lots of questions, they pay attention, and we know from the end result, we compare the pre-test and post-test. We know if you have gained knowledge or not gained knowledge. The teachers are involved, the principals, guidance counselors are involved. That's what we like. Going forward, we're going to make more informed now with PTAs in the schools to get informed parents involved as well.
The topics discussed were bullying and conflict, gender awareness, puberty and sexuality, drug awareness, and HIV. David Brathwaite was the facilitator for HIV again this year, and he told us that they shortened the presentations a bit, and this allowed for more discussion time. We caught up with him at the St. Leonard's Boys' School.
We covered this transmission. We also covered the actual meaning of HIV and AIDS and STIs, the names and stuff of what the STIs, the primary STIs in Barbados.
Cure for an infected person can give you HIV. Beautiful.
If I can get T2S to be a continuous thing and not just the short periods, I think it will be even more successful. But right now, I think it is extremely important that you have these sessions within the schools, even if you started at primary school and then continue into the secondary schools itself. Because with these sessions, they learn. And there are lots of things that they don't know, and when you ask, and in that particular environment, they learn. And it's amazing sometimes the questions that come from someone. You wouldn't expect it.
Esther Downey spoke with the young ladies at the Springer Memorial Secondary School about drugs. She told us that they were not very aware about the topic and learnt a lot in the session.
We got them to define a drug, what a drug was, and we also asked them to differentiate between legal and illegal drugs. Then we had a scenario where 2 friends were offered drugs by another friend, and we asked them how they would operate. If they would have taken the drugs, what they would have done. They wanted to know about some of the dangers associated with drugs, especially on the health. And how they would, because we had a scenario where we were asking them how they would respond if it happened to them, and they were very matured in the way of thinking. Well, I would speak to the mother, I would call an adult, things that you normally wouldn't get 11-year-olds talking about, you know. So I found that they were very mature in the questions that they asked and some of the answers that they gave.
Hey, give me your lunch money. Give me your lunch money, girl. She bad. And Kyoka is scared. She's worried. And Kyoka does what? Hands up her lunch money.
And so in the session, I spent a lot of time allowing the children to understand that bullying has to be a repeated act. So once that obviously went home, so to speak, then we moved into different types of bullying, the impact in which it can have on children, recognizing the imbalances, and of course where bullying, acts of bullying can take place in the school, and what happens, how do you deal with it. The strategies that you can employ, identifying that there are adults, the teachers, the parents, the guidance counselors. Right? In the classroom too, we also look at the children, recognizing that there could very well be some who are victims and there are some who could very well be the aggressor. So we also identify that. Of course, they were not extremely interested in identifying themselves, but I'm mindful that there might have been some who in the primary school setting might have actually been the bullies.
Sexuality does not only talk me about sex, okay? It is how you feel about being a male or how you feel about being a female.
Natalie Oliveira talked with the young ladies about human sexuality and puberty. And yes, there were some uncomfortable giggles.
At some points, yes, but for the most part, you know, they had one or two slides they would have been hiding their faces. But then as we got into the meat of the matter, they were very serious and they participated in the class.
I did a session on bullying, and I thought that the children were really responsive to the presentation. In fact, I did 5 different sessions, and I found that in all the classes, the children were quite receptive to the information. Some had some knowledge of it, and some had some queries and some questions. What I found interesting as well is that they were curious about the guns, because we say that, you know, people bring school guns and they bring school guns and weapons and that type of thing. We had to really dispel that myth that guns are not cool, weapons of any sorts are not cool. You need to report the matters to the authorities. I really think that this program is important. For us, when I remember as a boy going to school, this was not available to us. So I think that the children should take full advantage of all this information and apply it to themselves. So I look forward to this program continuing over the next 3 or 4 years in terms of the lifespan.
Let's look at the example of 2 dogs. If you saw a big dog and you saw a small dog, who would you be afraid of most? Because of the size.
It was very educational, and I know more than what I thought I knew. More about how you can catch HIV and AIDS, and I find it very interesting. I thought I knew all, but I didn't. My favorite was HIV and AIDS, because I thought when you kiss people on the lips, I thought that you would get HIV from that, but the lady told us no, so now I know.
The only thing that I felt uncomfortable about it was the pictures. They were showing us about how puberty changes our bodies, how puberty changes our lives, how we have emotional states.
I think that this should become like a subject in school, so that we will know what is there to come, because there's a lot of nasty things in the world.
I learned about bullying, about how to stand up for yourself and complain to the teacher if someone is bullying you, or to walk away and avoid them.
We recently visited the Alexandra School and heard from Steve Barker as he spoke to students here. He told these students that although he had a difficult life, he has always left a good legacy, including here at his alma mater.
I'll tell you the truth. I won't keep it long. I could have been hospital, cemetery, or jail. Because I was on the ghetto, in the block, bush all, you know, rolling deep, as you kids would say. I was ish. But anyhow, I'm just saying that to say, right? You kids, I don't know about you guys, each your personal lives, but you guys are lucky in a lot of things because you are fortunate with all of the technology nowadays and everything. I have some points that I brought with me that I wanted to just speak on quickly overall, because it's important that you guys understand a lot of stuff. This school is When you leave school, you're going to regret it. I know you're thinking, I can't wait to get out of here, man. I can't wait to go and look for work, man. I'm telling you, I would rather be here sitting down in your position than I'm here. Have respect for each other. Please have respect for each other. Have respect for adults. Those are some very important points that you should always keep with you. Respect for yourself, respect for your friends, and respect for adults. If you don't like someone, ignore them. Simple. If you have a skill, please start to look at your technical skills. My technical skill is cooking. I love to cook. So if you think you have something that you can do well, always try to do the best at it. Okay? You understand? Can I hear the amen? Amen. Oh yeah, Lord. Next point. Believing in yourself. How many people here believe in themselves? Why do you believe in yourself? I like that. I will move on because of that, I can move on from this point. He can do all things through Christ who strengthens him. How many of you believe in that? I see some people don't put their hands in here. It's okay. You don't have to if you don't want to. Because we are all entitled to our own opinions. My nickname at school here was Scarecrow. The teachers never called me with my real name. I came up here yesterday, and I showed Mr. Burrows, who was one of my teachers. So next, Mr. Burrows, he's one of my teachers. And you don't know they don't call me with my real name yet. Up to now, they still call me Scarecrow. You know why they call me Scarecrow? Why? They call me Scarecrow because when I came to my orientation, right? When I came to my orientation to secondary school, I saw a bunch of birds. And me being myself, look at the birds. Yeah! And a youngster, I can remember his name was Keegan Marshall. Keegan said to me, boy, you look like a real scarecrow, man. Anyhow, the first day of school, guess who was in my class? Keegan Marshall. The boy can't remember my name, you know. So he started calling me Scarecrow. And everybody started calling me Scarecrow. And up to this day, I don't think half the teachers know my name but Mr. Crow. But I was myself. I never tried to be nobody else, and they will tell you that. So I want you always to believe in yourself. Believe in what? Be respectful, but believe in yourself. I want you guys to leave your legacy. Leave a great legacy. Leave a legacy not of a rebel. Leave a legacy not of a person who was annoying. Leave a legacy of a person, you know what, I worked hard, I had fun, I represented my school with pride, and I'm going to come back here, and when I get older, I'm going to continue supporting this school.
And that brings us to the end of another edition of Positive School's Successful Students. We hope that you learned something in this edition, or you were inspired to strive for excellence. Thanks so much for joining us, and goodbye.